One thing I had in high school that I know my son is not going to have is economics class. And it bothers me that the schools public schools don't teach that. Like, I had it, and a lot of my friends, they didn't get it till college. Like, how is one supposed to know how to balance a checkbook and save and stuff? You gotta teach that in high school, because high school is the age of what I call the sponge age. Is your personality develops, who you are as a person develops, and you gotta get that in the high school years. By the time somebody's 25, it's not too late, but it's harder. Then by the time somebody get 35, 40, 45, they just don't know. And you gotta get that when you're in your teens. The first time I ever started paying bills was I was 18 years old. And it was my college tuition. And I feel good about that because it taught me responsibility. It taught me, and my friends wanted to go to Trinidad, and I could have spent my money in so many different places, but I looked at my parents and I was like, I don't want to be like that. Like, I don't want to be behind in bills. I don't want somebody to deny me of a loan if I want it, or deny me of whatever, because you didn't pay that last person on time, because that shows lack of character ultimately, and lack of credibility. Credit. The root word of credibility is credit, right? It's your word. Your word is your bond. Economics, I learned what a liability was at 17 years old, right? So the language that I use, even with my with people in my life, I talk like my teacher, and I be like, that's a liability, that's an asset. And I learned that in the 12th grade. I didn't just learn this, but stuff that you learn as a teenager, it follows you for life, whether it be good or bad. And these schools, it needs to be mandatory for economics. Like, why is it only me? Because I went to private school, I learned it. No, everybody needs to be learning it. But I feel like that's purposefully done because they want people to be in debt. They want people to, and it's like, we live in a culture of debt. We live in a culture. One guy told me, actually a few people told me, that if you don't have any credit cards, let's say you don't owe nobody wants to deal with you, because debt is better than no credit at all. They say, oh, how can someone track you? You have to have at least one credit card. Like, if I got the money to pay for something, why I need to put it on credit? Because I have to build credit. Okay, understandable. And then what happens to your average person? They run up that credit line, and then they go on to the next credit card. And then before you know it, for some people, they have 6 credit cards, and they all declined and used up, and they're in debt all over again. It's like, it's a cycle, and it has nothing to do with race. White people, they call it bankruptcy. Black people, we just call it broke. But it's an ongoing cycle, and I feel like it's set up that way. But it's up to you to not fall for the bullshit. Those are my thoughts.